The next report will be made by our Portuguese colleague, Vasco Palmeirim. He will speak about the vector maps production flow.
Good afternoon.
Добрый день. Я буду чрезвычайно краток. Моя презентация связана с важностью объединения функций фотомод дилера и фотомод пользователя. Будучи фотомод дилера, мы всегда
that we can, and this conference and all the experience photomod has acquired is very, very important. Also very important is to know that the people who are going to buy photomod will have a partner telling them how to use and take the best profit of the best software, the photogrammetric software that he can buy now for the best price. This is a very short presentation showing a very small case and to see how easy it is, and it is a part of our dealership and our marketing purposes. For this, we are trying to show how easy it is to use photomode modules, and we have a test area just 24 kilometers out of from here, west from here, from where we are. It's a very hilly, but not rough. It's terrain. And the main object was to produce 1 to 500 map sheets and 1 to 500 orthophotos with very high precision and with a very big, difficult tender that we also must have the final certificate from the formal Geographic Institute in Portugal. All these maps have to have a certificate that they comply with the precision and all the products, final and intermediate products and files must achieve. So from the flight to from the GCP, Aerotriangulation, all products have to be very well controlled. Otherwise, this institute will not certificate the maps, and we want to get paid, and we have to make and remake the maps until we get the certificate. So it's quite difficult tenders. Our project planning is, as usual, aerophotographics, ground control points, block air triangulation, and so on until the final map. This is the test area, 4 strips, 107 images, a very small example. We can say that in the last year we made one only block with over 4,500 images for one Aerotriangulation block that included strips and images by DMC and also strips with the Vexel camera. Mixed Aerotriangulation block with different cameras. This is a typical ground control point. We try to avoid walls and buildings, but this was a very difficult area because there were no buildings, and press signalization, marking before the points like on the Sofia example is very important. GPS used. We had lots 20 minutes least, so we could have, after post-processing, less than 1 centimeter accuracy, so we could comply also always with the tender technicians' precision. And this is how easy it's working with photomode. Importing images, it's very easy. In getting a camera for future interior orientation. Luckily, it's not very difficult, but photomode, Rakus always helps, and the MC camera is already part of the system. Interior orientation is also automatic and very, very easy. This is just step by step. I'm trying to keep my 10 minutes. Importing the external data from EMU is also very easy with the, how do you call it, the software that PhotoMod uses, that we can use, that is quite universal. As you can see, we can have different types of files, CSV, text files, and import them directly. Automatic layout, when we have external data, is also quite easy. We pass from this stage to this other stage where we have nearly all orientation made. We pass to aerotriangulation, and here, because of the land was very, very difficult, as you can see by the images, there are very few planimetric details, so we had to create many more manual strip ties than we hoped, and we had to make 64% of the tie points had to be made by hand, manually, while normally we have a ratio of about 10 to 90%. So usually automatic tie points with software, PhotoMod software is quite satisfactory and straightforward. Afterwards, we can have a very big help with the relative orientation report, where we can check and see. We made an error in purpose here to show how easy it is. It's marked in yellow. We just check the point, select it, and automatically the software jumps to this point where we can see in 3D and make manually the correction, and finding out that the Z on left on the right point is not correct. And it's a very straightforward and makes aerotriangulation very, very fast. For the final adjustment in aerotriangulation, again, we are importing data, the ground control point data, again, with this very easy and very straightforward interface, like a text file and CSV again. We are measuring now all the ground control points. We have pick point on one images, and normally with autocorrelation, it follows for the other images. For final adjustment of aerotriangulation, we are choosing the parameters. This is normally by default what we use. And for the first step, we always make a free model option for controlling that they have no parallax in any of the points, of the tie points, and makes it easier then to know if we can pass to the reading of the ground control points. Here again, we have made by force and an error to see that one point has an error in Z. We pick this point, we check it, and easily we can correct it manually. After we have aerotriangulation, we pass for the next steps for vector acquisition, digitation. We have a very simple code table. Well, not so simple, because it's simple, because it looks simple. We have by classes and then by subclasses by typically all type of objects that we can find in all big scale mapping. In Swiss Stereo Draw, we are making vectorization here of buildings, roads, and small details, just to see it better. We pass then to TIN with only the planimetric data. As you can see, the TIN is very, very open, very wide, and there are many areas where there is no information. So we go to DTM model and give extra points, normally by automatic correlation, where there is no many forest information, well, trees, and some break lines, and we make it denser, generating contour lines every half a meter here, producing a dam also with half a meter, and going to mosaic for making the final product or orthophotos. With mosaic, we choose the outline limit of all images, so we can make ortho images of all photographs that we have. We're choosing the parameters. I'm going very fast because these are nearly by default, and just, I'm not selling you photo mode. This is for our clients. Choosing all the images, and here we are producing ortho images of all of the images. Here I'm just showing 3. And with GeoMosaic, we just start producing the cut lines automatically, editing whenever we see that where there is a house or something, that a tree that falls to the left, and so we choose where the cut line should be passing, and this is the whole area with all cut lines edited. This is the final products with the orthophoto with a 10 centimeter pixel, vector map, the overposing of both vector maps and contour lines, and just to see the quality of the final products, I have just 2 small images of the only 2 houses in the area. And this is the final flow chart that we normally use and that we present our clients. So I just want to thank that it was very easy to use PhotoMod versions 5.1 and 5.2 in this presentation. I've been using PhotoMod for the last 12 years, and I'm very happy to do it. Thank you very much.
Tell me, please, you told us about certification. You told us about certification of maps. I'm interested in who does this and how the certification process is organized.
The maps were certified. It was made, the certification is made by the former Institute Geográfico Português, that is the Portuguese Geographic Institute. The presentation this morning, there is a new institute. It calls Direção Geral do Território, so it's Land General Direction. And it means that they have to, all the maps, all the vector maps and orthophotos that are being used by any state department in the whole Portugal has to be certified by this organization. This means there should be always a tender book with all the precisions, with all the products that you have to produce, with the percentage of errors that you can have when you make a map in a big city. Sometimes you forget one name of one road, or sometimes you make a mistake. And so you have a tolerance, of very short tolerance for this kind of errors. Other products, for instance, the precision of ground control points, the tolerance of the angles of the aerial images, it's about 5%. The images have to be flown with the sun above 30 degrees. The size of the pixel of the ground control of the images are perfectly defined. If you want to make 1 to 1,000 map sheets, you have to have 7 centimeters. 1 to 2000 is 12 centimeters and so on and so on. So it's quite difficult.
First, thank you for your presentation.
Прежде,
Using photomod, but maybe we will, who knows. I want to learn while producing mosaic about automatic generation cut line. Is it successful, or did you have to make much editing on automatic generation cut line?
I didn't understand completely. Why do I not use automatic correlation?
While you producing mosaic, when
Manual tie points.
yes, automatic
3 points.
automatic cut lines is successful.
Cut line. No, it's not manually. They are automatic generated. The editing is manually. I'm sorry.
Did you have to make much editing on automatic generating cut lines manually?
No, not very much. It depends always if it's an urban area full of buildings, and the buildings on the left, the top, so you have to choose just in the middle of the roads, avoiding cars, so the car will not be half of the car on the final orthophoto. So, and avoiding shadows, and it's very difficult. Mainly for when we are working with orthophotos for urban areas, we don't use 60% of overlap. Sometimes we're using 80% of overlap.
I know it.
So we have always much centered images of the buildings. And even the side overlap, lateral overlap between strips, we can sometimes go up to 45%. This last job, as I told you, with over 4,500 images, the overlap was 80% and 40%, not 70-30 or 60-30.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Is there any separate tool for orthophoto generation, or it's a tool completely generated?
There are two different modules. You have Mosaic for making orthophotos, for producing orthophotos, and you have GeoMosaic for editing orthophotos. And we use Mosaic for producing orthophotos of the whole images. It's easier than just using a small center area, because then we can use the cut line and did you see the image? You can move very long. You can stretch from one image to the other, not only at 5 or 10 minutes. You can move about 100, 200 meters, the cut line from the left to the right.
Thank you.
I apologize, but you're asking questions which require very long answers. Maybe after this session you can get together and ask yourself these questions. Otherwise, it'll take too much time here. Okay, thank you very much. No more questions. Please, no more questions.